Hey guys, welcome back to Fantasy Tipped. Julian here for one of the most important episodes of my preseason content. This is the top 50 fantasy players video. Obviously, it's early in the preseason, guys, but I know you're all itching to see who my top players are and if you agree with the list. Now, if I'm going through the list, guys, and you're like, I don't necessarily agree with that, that's okay. We're not going to agree with everything. If you agreed with my entire ranking, there'd be no point of you watching this video. The whole reason you watch these videos is that you can get some idea of how other people are ranking these players higher or lower than you might be. Now, if you haven't watched my channel before in the preseason, guys, Max and I are going to be putting out 4 videos every single week, really trying to crank out that content, trying to give you the best possible content so that come draft day, you draft the best possible team. Before we jump into it, guys, drop a like on this video if you haven't already, and hit that subscribe button. And if you do want to take your support to the next level, guys, the join button right down below on YouTube or in the link below, there is a link to my Patreon. If you do join the Patreon, guys, you get access to a lot of really cool stuff like early access videos. When I upload the videos, you get them as soon as I upload them, not when I set them to go live for. And you also get the DM with me one-on-one. So if you have any fantasy hockey questions at all, I'll try to answer you as quick as possible. And I do get notifications and I answer them as soon as I get them most of the time. All right, guys, enough about me. Let's jump right into the content now, guys, and let's take a look at my list. And at number 1, it's Connor McDavid. He's been the number 1 best fantasy player for so many years straight. To me, it's crazy to just take him off that spot. I know he had a little bit of a down year last year, but Connor McDavid is the best player in the world, in my opinion. And yeah, he missed some time last year, but I'm hoping he's going to stay healthy this year and he's going to prove all the haters why he is the number 1 best player in the world once again. Obviously, coming right behind him is the second best player in the world, Nathan MacKinnon. Now, a lot of sites are drafting him earlier this year. As you can see by the ADP there, he's at 1.9, McDavid's at 3.5. These are actually ESPN ADPs that I'm showing you here because the Yahoo ADPs have not quite been released yet when I'm recording this video. So we're going with the ESPN ones for now. But there should be no doubt in your mind, McDavid, MacKinnon should be 1 and 2. Whatever order you do choose to draft them in, you're getting a stud either way. Leon Draisaitl, number 3, really nice with that dual eligibility. Nikita Kucherov, number 4. And then Austin Matthews, number 5. I think Matthews is going to want to bounce back from a subpar season. He's a little bit hurt all year, as he often is. But we all know that Austin Matthews has the capability of scoring 60 goals. He only scored 33 last year, and he was still a very, very good fantasy player. Yeah, he's going to go in that number 5 spot for me. At number 6, I have Kirill Kaprizov. And when he was healthy last year, he was absolutely insane. Had 56 points through 41 games. And this year, guys, is a contract year for Kaprizov. So you know he's going to push even harder if that's even possible. I could see him hitting 120 points. It wouldn't be out of the realm of possibilities. I think he's going to be a really key factor for why the Minnesota Wild are going to make the playoffs this year. At number 7, David Pastrnak. No surprise here, 106 points on a horrible Bruins team. Are you kidding me? This dude is out of this world talented. Number 8, Brady Tkachuk. Really valuable in those leagues that count both hits and shots. If you do not have hits in your league, I'm dropping him quite a few spots. But if you do, he ranks here at number 8. At number 9, I have Cale Makar, 92 points as a defenseman. Are you kidding me? He is just an absolute stud. It doesn't make sense how good this guy is, and he is the undisputed number 1 defenseman in the NHL and number 1 fantasy defenseman. Connor Hellebuyck was just sensational last year. He was like a top 5 player in a lot of leagues last year, and I cannot rank him any lower than number 10 here. I just can't. He's just that good. Jack Eichel at number 11, 94 points in 77 games last year. Jack Eichel really showed why he was drafted 2nd overall all those years ago. He's such a good player, often overlooked, and this year probably gets to play with Mitch Marner. That's pretty good. Jack Hughes, if he can freaking stay healthy, this is where he ranks. I know he's often missing time. but 70 points in 62 games is nothing to laugh at. I think he's going to have a sensational season if he can finally stay healthy. Andrei Vasilevsky bounced back in a big way last year with a 921 save percentage, starting 63 games, the most in the entire NHL. He was just an absolute stud last year, and Tampa Bay's got a very good team once again. Kyle Connor had an absolutely studly season last year, scoring 92 points, 41 goals. He was in the race to win the Rocket Richard Trophy the entire season. Does he slow down a little bit this year? Maybe a tad, but guys, this is a contract year for Kyle Connor. He's going to want to rake in a lot of money on his next contract, so he's going to want to come out of the gate absolutely killing it, and I think he's going to have himself another phenomenal year. Don't be afraid to draft Kyle Connor. Philip Forsberg is another absolute stud in Nashville. Even though they had an awful season last year, Forsberg did not. It was almost a point per game. And yeah, he was pretty negative in the plus-minus department. But I think Nashville has a significantly better year this year. And guys like Roman Josi, Philip Forsberg are going to do even better. Sam Reinhart is who I have at number 16. He is an absolute stud on Florida, scores a lot of goals, almost hit 40 goals once again last year. A very, very safe pick. And if he does go close to the 35 ADP, that'd be a real big steal potentially for Sam Reinhart. And with Matthew Tkachuk gone probably the first few months of the season, guys like Reinhart and Barkov are going to have to step up in his absence and score you some fantasy points. Alex Ovechkin is here at number 17. He's someone that I'm fully avoiding this season. I just don't trust him to repeat what he did last year. He was chasing the goals record last year, and the whole team was rallying around that. So I really do think the Capitals are going to have a much worse season this year. And it's just kind of unpredictable overall. If he plays the way he did last year, he's a top 5 player. I just don't think that's going to happen. I have him at 17, but he could potentially fall off a cliff if he decides to just take it a little bit easier this year. He is older, and old age might be catching up to him, although it is his last season, so maybe he's going to want to show the fans just how good he can be until the second he can retire. At number 18, Shesterkin. I do think the Rangers are going to have a better season this year. It was an absolute disaster for them last year, but overall, they have a pretty solid team, and Shesterkin is a very good goalie, should win plenty of games. Zach Werenski is the second best defenseman that I have on this list. 82 points last year in 81 games. That's over a point per game for a defenseman. Scored 23 goals as a defenseman. Absolutely crazy. He just showed how good this guy can be. And the reason he never hit these totals before, well, one thing, Columbus is way more talented now with all their young guys. And two, he never really was able to stay healthy a whole season. He finally did. Look for him to do the same next year again. If he does, you're in for another treat of a season from Zach Werenski. Mitch Marner, 102 points in 81 games last year with the Leafs. Starting a new season with a new team, the Vegas Golden Knights, the biggest free agent acquisition of the entire offseason. It's going to be interesting to see how he does in Vegas. He's a father now. It's going to be interesting to see how all these things kind of affect his play. Oftentimes when players have a kid, though, they kind of go into super beast dad mode and just play really well. So it's going to be interesting to see the chemistry he has with a guy like Eichel, how well he does in the top power play over there, and overall just how he does on a new team. It's always a little bit scary drafting a guy on a new team, but if he is actually going in the 44 range, that's really a big steal. At number 21, I have Seth Jarvis, who not only has triple eligibility right now in Yahoo, but last year scored 67 points in 73 games. And the dude's super young. If I'm not mistaken, he's only 22 years old and only has room to get better. He is my number 1 Carolina Hurricane this year. And even though I don't really trust Rod and Brittamore with the lines to really play guys well, Seth Jarvis really did well last year. And if he can do something similar this year, he can definitely be a top 30 player. That being said, I'm not drafting him at number 21. He's going to go quite a bit later. As you can see, the ADP's at 90. If you can get him even like 70-ish, you're getting a huge steal on a guy like Jarvis. Jake Ottinger is the next goalie I have on this list. Had a bit of a down season with only a 909 save percentage. We know he can do better. He's a heck of a goalie, and Dallas is a really, really good hockey team. He should win lots of games. Bobrovsky obviously is a no-brainer draft pick this year. He's going to start almost every game for Florida. He'll, sit maybe every 4th game or so for Tarasov, but the Panthers just won a couple cups in a row, so they're not going anywhere. They're going to win plenty of games, and Bobrovsky's going to have plenty of fantasy value. Sidney Crosby being slept on a little bit in the ADPs in ESPN, only going around 35 overall. He had 91 points last year, so it's not like Crosby's exactly slowing down at all. And it's really impressive to see him doing this at his age still. I have him at number 24. Ilya Sorokin. I know the Islanders kind of suck, but Sorokin is a phenomenal goalie, and he's probably going to start 60-plus games this year. So even if he's not winning them all, the Islanders are going to be at least close to being a playoff team, so Sorokin should win a good amount of games. And for fantasy purposes, he's going to be making a lot of saves. Mackenzie Blackwood is the next guy I have on this list, and shockingly, his ESPN ADP is 109.1. Do you guys not see how Colorado plays their goalies? They love to absolutely just start their goalies like crazy. They don't give them a break until there's a back-to-back. And Blackwood is going to get that exact same treatment as they give all their other goalies. He's going to start a lot of games this year, probably 60 games plus, and he showed last year how good he could be for Colorado. I like him a lot. Braden Point is the next guy on this list, had 82 points in 77 games last year. And in the preseason last year, I did say that Braden Point would get 42 goals, and I absolutely nailed that prediction. I can see him having another very similar season this year, and he's an absolute stud on your fantasy team every single season. Brandon Hagel, someone who's perennially underrated, actually had 90 points last year in 82 games. He's someone that people still don't seem to be seeing that he's actually a really freaking good player, and this is where he projects just under Braden Point, and people are drafting him right now on ESPN at 70th overall. Realistically, he can finish in the top 30 like I have him, and if you can get him around the 70th overall mark, that's a really big steal. Mikko Rantanen is the next guy I have. He was a little bit of an interesting guy this season. Played well in Colorado, got traded to Carolina, absolutely sucked in Carolina's system, got traded to Dallas, had a little bit of warming up to do, but did really, really great in the playoffs, and you got to see how Rantanen really is fitting into that system. He's getting lots of ice time, and he is a top 30 player once again for me this year. Jake Gensel, another Tampa Bay Lightning on this page, 80 points in 80 games. He's going to be getting top power play time with the guys like Hagel, Point, and Kucherov. I am not worried about his fantasy outlook this year either. Artemi Panarin on the Rangers should have another great season. Even though the Rangers had an awful down year, he still scored 89 points last year and could do even better this year on a Rangers team that's actually competing a little bit more for the playoffs. Sasha Barkov, his ADP right now on ESPN is 95, which is crazy late. If you can get him around that mark, you're potentially getting a top 50 player at a huge discount. Obviously, he's a natural center, which might be why he's singing that late. But with Tkachuk missing the first few months of the season, in all likelihood, Barkov is going to have to step up, and I think he will in a big way. He's a very talented guy and had over a point per game last year. At number 33, I have Adin Hill, and ESPN ADP seem to realize that Adin Hill has a lot of fantasy value this year. Why? Well, Vegas does not have Ilya Samsonov anymore as a backup. They have Akira Schmid, and in a very small sample size last year, Schmid did great. But he's not going to be getting that many starts. Adin Hill is their guy and probably gets quite a bit of starts next year in Vegas, with Schmid probably only getting the back-to-backs and maybe every fourth or fifth start. Adin Hill is going to be relied upon heavily in this system, and he's going to get a lot of wins, especially with Mitch Marner on the team. That's going to be a very, very deadly Vegas Golden Knights team. William Nylander, someone who I like a lot as well for fantasy, 84 points in 82 games last year, 45 goals. The dude's an absolute stud and could potentially play with Austin Matthews this year now that Marner is no longer in the picture. I can see Nylander having another phenomenal year, and for the life of me, I could not rank him lower than number 34. At number 35 is my third defenseman on the list, Quinn Hughes. 76 points in 68 games played. The dude's an absolute stud and has really stepped it up big time the last couple of years, fantasy-wise especially, and I could not rank him any lower than 35. At 36, Tage Thompson, 72 points in 76 games on a frickin' Buffalo Sabres team. That's super impressive. He's a great, great player. The double eligibility is nice as well. Definitely someone I don't mind drafting this year. Jason Robertson at number 37 is my highest ranked Dallas Stars player other than Ottinger and Rantanen. He is another great, great player, and with 80 points in 82 games. The sky's the limit for Jason Robertson, and I think he has himself another phenomenal year. John Tavares seems to be kind of an ageless wonder. Last year, I advised people to draft John Tavares because he was going super, super late around the 90 mark, which was absolutely insane. I got him in a lot of my leagues, and he absolutely proved me right. 74 points in 75 games last year. He's showing no signs of slowing down. I like Tavares a lot, and he's at number 38 for me. Mark Scheifele had a huge bounce back season last year with 87 points in 82 games, more than a point per game. Definitely helped by the fact that Kyle Connor was amazing last year, but Mark Scheifele was amazing in his own right, and I got him right here at number 39. Matt Boldy, another young star in the NHL, 73 points in 82 games last year, and I can only see him doing better this year. Got him at number 40. Clayton Keller last year, what a phenomenal year with 90 points in 81 games, playing with guys like Dylan Guenther, top power play time on a Utah team, finally getting out of Arizona, getting that negativity from being in Arizona out of there, having a great career year. I can only see Clayton Keller repeating that, or at very worst doing very similar. He's a stud, got him right here at 41. Suzuki is just getting better and better every year, and as a Habs fan, it excites me. Like, it doesn't even make sense how much of an improvement he has every single year. He's responsible defensively. He's just such a good player on both sides of the ice. 89 points last year in 82 games, well over a point per game player. He's just an absolute fantasy stud. Dylan Guenther is probably going to play on the top line with Clayton Keller, top power play, and he absolutely exploded last year with 60 points in 70 games, and I have faith that he'll do something similar once again. Rasmus Dahlin is the next defenseman I have on this list with 68 points in 73 games on the freaking Buffalo Sabres team. He is just so talented, and I can only see him having another phenomenal year this year. Jesper Bratt of the New Jersey Devils with 88 points in 81 games. He's someone who's super underrated. The only reason he's this low on the list is because his peripherals are slightly less than some of the other guys above him. Martin Necas was the guy who Colorado acquired for Mikko Rantanen. He did have himself a great year last year with 83 points in 79 games, and he's going to be playing top line and top power play with Nathan MacKinnon, which is a great spot and is a super safe pick for that reason. Tim Stützle, someone who I like a lot, one of the best Germans in the NHL with 79 points in 82 games, could potentially be point per game this year in Ottawa. Sens are going places. They have a very, very good young team, and Tim Stützle is a big part of that. Vincent Trocheck and JT Miller I have at 48 and 49. JT Miller was recently traded back to the New York Rangers from Vancouver after all those altercations with Pettersson. It was time for them to move on from him, and both Trocheck and Miller are solid picks, although I do think Trocheck's a slightly better pick only because I trust him more for consistency. Miller was kind of a little bit inconsistent last year, but both guys are good and give you a pretty safe floor with hits and shots on goal as well. And finally, at number 50, I have Darcy Kemper of the Los Angeles Kings, the only King I have on this list, although Adrian Kempe is just a couple spots down, just barely missed the list. But Darcy Kemper had a phenomenal year last year with a .921 save percentage, 31 wins, just a huge bounce back season from him. And the Kings are once again a really great team this year, so I can only see him having another great season. And that's it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, drop a like and hit that subscribe button. Let me know what you think of this list, and let me know what you would change down in the comments. I'm curious to see what you agree with, what you don't agree with, and I'll catch you in the next episode of Fantasy Tipped.